Good evening. It is October 28th, 2021, and election is less than a week away. And something occurred to me in campaigning, especially unusually in a municipal year. But let me just say this: the partisanship's got to end. And unfortunately, I know it's a Democrat thing, it's a Republican thing, but something needs to be said, and I'd wished my Democratic and Republican opponents had come out and said this. But the truth is obvious. This is not about Trump or Biden. Okay, this is about Plainfield. This is about a town we care about. I was a little concerned. There are some things that being a libertarian is unusual because you can agree with ideas without associating them with personalities or people. It's about what's right. It's not about who's saying it. So when Marjorie Taylor Greene came to town, there were a lot of people there that share some views that I have. There are a lot of people there that share some views I don't have. But when it comes to personal choice and all that, my decision was I'm not going. This is it's a partisan event, and unfortunately, the way partisan events go, they don't get you the results you're looking for. Like they don't get you fiscal conservatism, which we haven't had that in this town for 2 years. They certainly don't get you personal choice. Haven't had that in this town for 2 years either. But here's what they do get you. They get you a my way or the highway attitude, where it doesn't matter. You guys don't have the numbers. We're not going to talk ideas anymore, and we're just going to do whatever we want to whoever we feel like. Well, quite frankly, I've never been about that, and most people in Plainfield aren't about that either. We're Plainfield. We're just better than that. And that's why when I did chair the Charter Vision Commission, I handled it like, look, my job is to facilitate what you, the voter, and the public want. Whether there were some ideas that I liked or didn't like, such as a town manager, for example, which I was, disinclined to it. Nonetheless, public service is about facilitating things that you may not necessarily like. And unfortunately, we are at an impasse here in Plainfield where for years it's been leadership has consisted of pretty much I'm in charge, and it's not a leadership that likes good ideas or bad ideas necessarily, but only its ideas. And I think we've clearly been going through enough of this with politics as it's been such that it's got to stop. So here's the thing: we have promises that have not been kept. Whether we're talking pensions that have been underfunded for years and years and years, because nobody wants to say to the Board of Ed, "Hey, this isn't going to end well eventually," and this is going to hurt people that have worked for the town. Or whether it's come to Interroyal, which has been studied and studied and studied, and we just can't seem to get out of that funk. And fortunately, I do have a plan for that. Or maybe it's command, where we've had this partisan promise of some plan for command, which didn't exist. There's a video on that on my YouTube channel. Or maybe it's just plain we can't seem to get railroad safety to move or happen. Guys, this isn't about me. This isn't about Dan Reale, the Libertarian. This is about we can fix this. Public service should be about we can fix this. We can actually end problems. So when you vote for me, and I'm just going to tell you about a few people I'm going to be voting for and why, you're voting to solve the problem. And that's what local politics is and has historically been about. It can't be a matter of, trying to think that somebody did this or try to wishfully reinvent the past. All we can do is the present and the future, guys. And I think when we decide to do that, we're going to do right. So let me tell you about the one guy I'm going to vote for. I am going to vote for Scott Gardner, a Democrat. Why? I want to see a tripartisan Board of Selectmen. I want to see a board of 3 people. If we're going to have a board of 3 people as selectmen, I think it should be 5. But until we get to that day, it should be 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. So if Art, who I voted for last time, by the way, so if he should get reelected, and Scott should get elected, and I think he's a reasonable guy and he should be elected, and I get elected, which I believe I should be elected because we certainly haven't tried it differently yet, we will have 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. So I just can't say I can unilaterally do whatever I want because I have somebody else on my side, which has happened for years and years in this town. We all actually have to persuade each other. Now, wouldn't that be a novel concept? Where instead of just saying, this guy, he's got this personality or this identity, what if we actually talked about the merits of things? And I did do that on the Charter Revision Commission when I chaired it. My job, and this will be my job in the Board of Selectmen, would be to get your ideas out there so we can fairly hear them. I've always had a saying, and I've always lived by it, and it's this: be cruel to ideas, not people. Ideas should be tested, and it shouldn't matter who said it. It really shouldn't matter who said it. It shouldn't matter who came up with it, but rather what it is did they come up with and how did they come up with it. And when we start doing that, we're actually going to be solving problems. We're going to be solving Interrow. We're going to be solving command. We're going to be solving that train problem. We're going to be solving that unfunded pension problem. We're going to be solving the very recent problem with what happened in the Central School, like why weren't the cops called sooner? You see, this is the thing. Plainfield has potential, and it has had potential for years. But the difference is this. When you start thinking about what is the idea rather than where it came from or who said it, you're going to solve problems. And that is something that Plainfield can do because Plainfield, we may get frustrated, but we all love each other. We love our neighbors. So what I'm asking you to do is solve problems and solve it by deciding, I want a tripartisan Board of Selectmen. I don't want a majority of anybody anymore because it hasn't solved problems and it certainly won't. So I'm Dan Reale. I really need your vote. And there are plenty of, if you have questions, please reach out. That's not a problem. I like hard questions. The more difficult, the better. So if you have any questions, watch the other videos on this YouTube channel. And if they don't answer them, reach out. I'm happy to help. Till then, I am looking forward to serving you, and I hope you're well.